To create a new purchase order within Eve, go to the Purchase Orders module, click Purchase Orders New, and you'll see a screen like many other screens, rental service, sales receipts within Eve, so it keeps the flow easy for you and your staff. We enter in first an employee, the particular supplier that we're going to order these goods from. We enter in a store. That's obviously particularly applicable in a multi-store environment. And at this stage, I'm going to enter in a status of unsent because it's going to be something I'm working on. Now, these things I've done over here of an employee, a supplier, a store, and the status, you will see towards the right of the screen are also there on the cool bar, which will guide you through each of the steps that you need to do. And our next one, having said that it is going to be unsent, is obviously now to decide which stock items we want to order. And we have several options here. One is by hitting search. I open up the standard stock item search screen, and I can, for want of a better expression, finger pick particular items here. So if I were to look up within training materials stock type, you'll see here he was defaulted to the appropriate supplier. I can now enter in, perhaps just by saying yes, I'll need an instructor guide, I'll need another instructor guide, so I can finger pick as you see here by adding those in the background. I could adjust the number. You'll see here I've entered 3 and so on. Now that's from doing what I call a finger pick search under the search button. I could also scan in. I've placed the cursor here in the barcode number field, scan the product I need more of, and that will appear in the basket here. Likewise, I could enter either the store stock number or the manufacturer's stock number, and those items will appear in the basket here. You'll see there are 2 other features of restock and top-up which we need to have a look at. For top-up, when I enter this top-up wizard, I can now specify, do I want to have this only for a particular stock type or for all stock types? Blank will be all stock types that this supplier provides me with, or I could go to a particular stock type. Now what top-up does is it brings up all the items from this supplier to what you have set as the ideal level for that stock holding, for that inventory holding of that particular item. You can also, by checking or unchecking this box here, say, but I want to do that only for those items that are at or already below the minimum stock level. So by leaving this box checked and this blank, I would now be saying, bring up to an ideal level all my PADI stock items across all stock types that are currently at or beneath the minimum stock level. When I hit finish, you will see that that populates this purchase order, and that has now mean that this purchase order would now bring up all those items to my ideal level. Now another option that you do have, as well as search manually or via barcode number, stock number, etc., as well as top up, is this restock option. Now restock allows you to pick a particular point in the past where you could say, I want to restock all those items that I have sold within a certain time period. So I could go back and say I was happy with my stock holding at a certain point, whether it be a few months ago, a couple of weeks ago, etc., and say bring up those items that would return my stock holding to what it was at that point in the past. So I would be saying here, for example, I'm going to add items that are sold within the last 5 months, but only if they haven't already been added to a purchase order within that date range. So this is a way of making sure that you can bring up those more commonly sold items and add them as you see fit. I hit add, that adds the first record, hit add again, another record added. We now have a purchase order ready to go. Of course, any of these, and restock and top up, are really only to give you an indication of what that might be. So you can now, of course, go through and perhaps where you see here 16, say, well, I only want 10 of those, or I'm actually only going to have 6. So you can always control for cash flow purposes and the specific amount you wish to order, the number of each of these items. You can also, and you'll see here that I'm clicking to the left on this grey area, the whole line has gone blue, I can delete the entire line. So you can control precisely the numbers of items that you order, which items you order, and how much you'll be spending overall on that purchase order. Now I can, of course, simply save this at this point, and that will be left as unsent, and I can come back and rework and revisit the order, etc. I might, though, want to send this. So as I'm going to do that, I will change this to sent, and when I hit save now on this order, I will now have the option to send by printing out a purchase order. I could look at it on screen, I can send it to Word for Windows, or I could email it, and most people will probably want to email it directly. And this recipient in here is the recipient that you've placed against the particular supplier in the supplier record in the data module. And I'm going to send this as a purchase order. It's an attached PDF. When I hit OK, that order will be emailed to the supplier. And that is how to create a purchase order using those different methods of restock, top up, or search manually to create exactly the orders you need that will bring and control your stock levels to what's appropriate for your store.